Looking for the perfect gift for someone you love? Perhaps you're in search of something unique to treat yourself. Discover the beauty of uniquely created hand-stamped jewelry. Locally owned and crafted with love, our collection features rings, bracelets, keychains, and pendants made from durable aluminum and paired with natural beads. Enjoy necklaces on sterling silver-plated chains and earrings with sterling silver hooks for a touch of elegance. Each piece is hand-stamped and one of a kind, making it uniquely yours. Plus, we offer custom orders, and we ship nationwide. Find us on Facebook and Instagram today and fall in love with your perfect piece, uniquely created just for you. Uniquely created hand-stamped jewelry in Crossville.
And so for 23 years, nothing had changed.
Okay.
Nothing. If I live in a house, my tastes are going to change. And we had the same stage lighting. We had the same stage that hadn't been touched. We had everything was the same, and that's fine. But tastes have changed, and you know, you have to give some attention to your building and to.
Welcome to What's Up Crossville, your go-to podcast for all the happenings in our quaint Tennessee town. Whether you've been here for generations or have just moved to enjoy our slower, friendlier pace of life, this is the place to connect with the heart and soul of Crossville. Here, we dive deep into the facts, share true stories, and get to know our neighbors a little bit better. Each episode aims to inform, inspire, and entertain, steering clear of the negative noise and controversies often found outside in the world today. This is Melissa Ellis, and I'm here to ask, what's up, Crossville?
What's up, Crossville? Today I have Malena Jackson Fisher, and I just about blah, 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 that whole thing. That's fantastic. What is your official title with the Historic Palace Theater?
So I'm the administrator or the supervisor of the palace.
I like administrator better. That sounds,
that kind of covers it a little bit.
I feel like
better,
supervisor means that you're watching forklifts going around.
No forklifts here.
Not
my
here.
gosh. Yeah, no,
Not yet.
No. But yeah, I'm the administrator at the palace and at the depot and at the amp.
Okay, that's right. You guys have taken on the depot now. And I knew that you've had the amp for a while.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit of the history of the theater, and then you can tell us what motivated you to take on this role.
The palace itself opened in 1938 as a movie theater, and it was part of the big push from the major movie studios to get movies in the rural communities. So we had a lot of palaces and princesses and that sort of thing in the rural communities. And so we were done in the Art Deco, Art Nouveau architectural style. It's gorgeous. And it was a real big deal, you know, for downtown. It was called the Jewel of Main Street. And so it was the place for people to come, just watch movies, get away a little bit of, get away from the hardships of life. We were coming out of the Great Depression at the time. So it was great. And then when drive-in theaters kind of came into vogue and people started kind of going other places, the attendance declined. And then the Capri Twin opened up so you could see, one of two movies instead of just one. And they had, more updated technology. And so the palace kind of fell out of favor, and they closed the doors in 1978. The 20 years between there and the restoration were just a fight from local leaders and local committed community volunteers to get something going. And, just that whole ennui about downtown and about our history. People really, it's a shame. We kind of wait until things are almost gone before we're like, oh, that matters. Let's do something about that. So the city bought it in the early 90s and bought it with the intention to tear it down. And some wonderful community leaders, Martha Hill from Hill's Department Store, Vansanita Wisdom, who is she is my hero, and Jim Purcell, that just a lot of community leaders got together, they went to council, they petitioned them, they went to the community, got community support, and they rallied to save the palace. And after much, in and out and back and forth, they finally decided, after voting again to tear it down, that they were going to save it. Changed one council member's vote, and there it was. And in 2001, we reopened as a community theater. So in that, we're able not only to show movies like we do still, but we also have live music acts. We have fundraisers for all the nonprofits, and are still the jewel of Main Street. So.
Awesome. I know Kevin Dean, who was actually my first episode, he and I talked about how we remember the palace growing up. And it was like a haunted house.
It was. It was
scary.
Yeah. And I was one of the ones who would drive by and think, just tear it down already. Like, seriously, what are we doing? I heard about the pigeons, and I heard about the bats.
No, I haven't heard about pigeons and bats. I just thought it looked dilapidated and really scary.
Yeah, it was. It was a freaky looking place. And the roof was gone at that time.
Yeah.
So I remember just, it's just a shell. I thought, why? Why are we even worrying about it? And now, I will eat those words. I'm glad we worried about it. Yeah, big time.
Oh gosh. I know that when you brought up the Capri Twin, I remember, of course, that was the hangout in high school.
Yes,
and that's all we had.
That was
and
it.
I remember I never gave it much thought about whether I liked it or not. It was just there, and that's what we did.
Exactly.
But I remember hating it the weekend that they had 2 rated R movies, and I was 17, and I was like, I can't go to anything.
Oh, no.
And I'm too old to be going to the skating rink.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. A cool story. I think, now if I'm correct, and I could be wrong, I do believe, did Gone with the Wind play here? Because it released in 39.
It did.
One of my friends, his name is Chet Hayes. He's a drummer here, local.
I know Chet, yeah.
And I believe, of course, we talked about this years ago at Las Margaritas, probably over margaritas. But they were sitting at a totally different table, but he was telling us a story about how, I think it was his grandmother was out in Ozone. That's where they lived.
Wow.
And at the same time, that's all they had were like horses, but like they did not have a car. And they came in to see Gone with the Wind.
Wow.
And he said it was like a day's drive.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm sitting there going, I mean, my mind was blown, because I'm sitting there thinking horse and buggy. I don't even think about, that's a maybe 15, 20-minute drive to me.
Yeah.
Maybe 10 if I'm lead footing it. And but him saying that, I was like, holy crow, these people traveled a whole day to see Gone with the Wind, which I would too, because I love Gone with the Wind. That's my favorite. I think you guys played it here.
We did recently,
And my husband and I have to go when I see that stuff, because I love Gone with the Wind. I will watch it on this big screen every time it's available to me.
It's a long movie. I mean, attention spans are, much shorter than they used to be then. But I didn't know that they had a built-in intermission in the film, which is really cool.
I think that shocked my husband, Matt, as well. He was like, oh, there's an intermission.
Yeah, they just built it in. Yeah.
I think we've seen here, and of course, since COVID, the movie thing has really built, and especially now since we do not have a movie theater.
Exactly.
So I think we've seen It's a Wonderful Life here, which is one of my favorites. Gone with the Wind. The one I keep missing, and it has killed me every time, is Wizard of Oz.
I started to say Wizard of Oz.
And I think we've even seen Casablanca here, which is Matt's favorite.
Yes, we showed that not too long ago.
Yes, so we are so blessed in this community to have a theater still that we can watch movies, whether they're new or old. It does not matter to me.
And that's something, so I get a lot of questions about why we don't show new releases.
Yeah.
And so first of all, we're one screen, we're 300 seats. In order to show new releases, you have to get the licensing through the actual movie studios.
Yes.
They won't talk to me. It's really, I've put it out there.
You're
and it's
small
like
time.
Exactly.
You're not
I'm not even worth
AMC.
it. And when I have gotten a response, the first question is, are you DCI compatible? And I'm like, yeah, we love DCI. I mean, downtown Crossville. It's great. How do you know about them? And no, it's digital compliant, interface or whatever. And no, we're not. Okay. We stick a DVD in, we show it on a DVD, on a projector. We would have to invest in a new screen, all new equipment. and it's a huge investment. Huge investment. So at the moment, we would rather have $5 movie tickets and $10 concession deals and show some of the fun stuff rather than, try to have to charge much more to just recoup some of that investment.
Do you guys still have to pay for licensing for the ones that you do watch?
Yeah, we do. So, it is something that if we have 2 people here or 3 people here or we have 50 people here, it's still the same price for us. So we don't make money off movies. We just don't. It's, if we do make $100 or so, we lose it on the next one. So it is not at all a revenue stream for us. It's more the community service arm of, we're still owned by the city. So it's a community service that we provide and trying to fill that gap and fill that hole within the community.
Right. So did you guys hear that? That means that every time she plays a movie, you should be out here watching these movies, even if it doesn't make us any money, right?
Exactly.
We just want you guys to have a good time.
Exactly.
My mother worked for a city back in Illinois back in the day, in the 70s. And this is before she had to, resign to have a baby. We're not going to mention any names of me.
Yeah.
And so it's my fault my mother had to become a stay-at-home mom. But she and I grew up loving scary movies. I love horror.
Yes.
And she did, and I get it from her. But the big thing was at their theater, it was her job. She was the bookkeeper. It was her job to bring the film to the theater. The movie was The Exorcist. And she was so excited to see this. And the theater manager was like, so are you going to come and watch it? She's like, heck yeah, I'm going to come watch it. And she said she watched the first bit of it and she went home.
I'm out.
She's like, I'm out.
Nope, not doing it.
This is what I'm imagining when you're like, we were trying to get movies in. I'm like, but you were like, oh, The Conjuring? No, thank you. No, thank you. I'm out.
Exactly. Yeah, and there is a lot of personal preference that goes into those. Because,
I bet.
But we're also, again, owned by the city. So we have some standards. Yeah, we've got some standards we got to keep. It's hard with the horror movies.
It is.
We can do blood and guts. We don't do the nudity and the language. So, it's...
Well, and one of my favorite horror movies, and I know we're not going to sit here and talk about horror because it's not a Halloween episode. Maybe next time.
Maybe, yeah.
But one of my favorite ones is, and I hadn't even realized it until I was an adult, had no body count. The language was pretty mellow, and it's PG, and that is Poltergeist.
Oh, awesome. Okay.
I was like, I remember Poltergeist, nobody dies. I mean, the only scary dead bodies are the ones that were already there under the house.
We need to add that to the list.
You should. And of course, I love The Omen.
Yeah.
I like classics, but I'm not going to. I'll send you my list of what horror movies. No, I'm joking.
Yes, I'm always open for suggestions.
Because I can't. I don't like to watch a lot of things at my house. I've got little ones, and I don't want them to happen to walk in and I have to explain myself.
Yeah, so I made that mistake. I wanted my kids. They were watching Paranormal Activity, and so then I started making fun of it, and I said, you need to watch classics. Let's go watch The Shining.
Yeah.
No, I totally forgot about a scene or two in that, and then as I'm trying to remember, it was like there it was, and it was like, close your eyes, close your eyes, close your eyes. So forever, my son will remind me that I'm the reason that he saw things he wasn't ready to see yet.
I was not ready for that. Hey, when It came out,
yes,
because I remember, I don't remember reading the book. I was in the 8th grade when I read it. Yeah. My mother was a bad mom.
Yeah.
No, she wasn't.
No.
I just liked scary stuff. But I read it in the 8th grade, and then I remember watching the mini series with John Ritter.
Yes.
However, my older two were, and they eventually did work at the movie theater, so they wanted to go see it.
Right.
And this is where I'm going to come clean. They were underage. So they walked in with another family to look like they were part of them. Then I had a friend ask me, she goes, you let them watch that? I'm like, yeah, why? And she brought up some parts that were very inappropriate for these kids.
Yeah.
And I'm like, whoops, I just did that. I totally forgot about it.
Yeah.
But this one did not have John Ritter in it.
Exactly. Totally different. Yeah.
Come
totally
and knock
different.
on our door.
Yeah. So, and that's what we try to vet all the movies. So I did not realize that there are people, I guess, that get paid to count F-bombs in movies.
Yes.
So they count the, and so I can look and find out the count. So if there are 5 or more, we kind of have to pass on it.
Yeah.
And then they let me know what the nudity is and, and all of that. So
What a job.
We kind of have to, yeah, exactly. I mean,
Who's doing this?
somebody's sitting on their couch going, oh, there's one. So,
I know.
but yeah, we try to keep it, some things are rated R. It's horror movie. It's going to scare the living daylights out of you. So some of it will be rated R. We try not to push the envelope too much with that.
And you don't want to. I'm a big fan of
no.
AMC's Fear Fest on their regular.
Yes.
They edit everything out. And I'm
Yes.
like, okay, kids, you can watch this stuff. It's,
this one's
It's
okay.
kind of lame.
Yeah. But it's okay. Yeah.
So how long have you been in this role?
2 years in May. So not I'm a newbie. Yeah.
I don't feel like you're a newbie.
Yeah,
Because when you took over, I was like, I got to get to know her because I hadn't seen a woman run this shang bang whatever
Right.
ever.
Paula Snow was the first administrator here. So we started out with a woman.
Okay.
And then I am the fifth person, I think. Terry Ashburn had it, and then Ronnie, and then Todd was the last one, and then me. And when we've changed, I mean, we have changed so much in those 23, 24 years. Terry, I talked to him recently, and he said, I was just begging people to come. We were doing events just to keep the doors open, get people to come, create events. And I said, well, thank you for doing that, because I'm turning acts away. Like, I am so full. We've got so much going on that I can't fit everything in, so I'm having to be discerning, and I'm having to kind of figure out, is this okay? Is this going to go? I get it wrong sometimes. I get it, I've taken chances that just did not work out, but it is a completely different, I've got probably 20 emails I've got to return for people that, I'm sorry, we're full. I don't have anything for you right now, which is a great
problem to have.
It's great. Yeah, it is. So I'm still learning a lot. It's an ongoing process, but I love it. I love, I get to listen to music for my job. I get to watch movies as part of my job, and I get to meet some of the coolest people ever, and learn different personalities and
different personalities.
and talk a lot. I get to talk a lot. So.
You like to talk.
Evidently, I do.
What were the most pressing issues that you saw when you took on this role?
I feel like the palace is, and I didn't realize this because I worked for the city before, and I really didn't think about the palace much. I thought it was cool. It's cool that we have it. I came to certain events here, but I really didn't think about it. It was just kind of like the city owns the cemetery. You don't think about it until you need it.
I hadn't thought about that either.
Yeah, it's just something that, it's one of those things that I just didn't think about it. And once I got here, I realized that nobody thought about it. I mean, it was really the renovation, which is a huge part of the history here. It's a success story. It's awesome, and I'll forever want to keep that as part of our history, because it shows, not only what you can do if you're committed to a project, it shows the tenacity and the love for community that our people have. But it's all the history, and it was kind of like okay, cool, we have the renovation, and we just stopped there. And so for 23 years, nothing had changed. Okay. Nothing. If I live in a house, my tastes are going to change. Yes. Like when I started out in my 90s, it was the jewel tones.
Yes.
And those things, you evolve over time and you change. And we had the same stage lighting. We had the same stage that hadn't been touched. Everything was the same, and that's fine. But tastes have changed, and you have to give some attention to your building and to your place and take some pride in it.
Right.
And I just kind of feel like everything had been done the same. To his credit, Todd had started getting some different acts in here, and
he had an uphill battle. He came in right with COVID.
He did. I know that was a challenge. That was a huge challenge.
Oh, I bet.
But you have to, in everything that you're doing, you also have to keep one foot in the community. And that's something that I guess I'm an idealist. I felt like that the palace was not just, okay, I'm going to run this place. We get acts in here. We sell popcorn. We go home. It's such a vital part of the community that we have to keep that in mind, and we have to keep the community in mind and remember our heritage, but also with that, look forward. What can we do to make this better? And so immediately, I'm a girl, so immediately, it has to look pretty. So I started seeing the things that just had not been done. And I like to freshen things up.
Yeah.
So the maintenance department, they've been great about painting, but, when Malena puts in a work order, they're like, paint. Oh my gosh, what does she need painted now? So we started refreshing things. And that to me is the biggest, if you take pride in it, and you show that listen, we're going to be here a while. We're not just, it's not status quo. To me, that was just huge. If we look like we are proud of where we are, then people will see that and they will feel that. And I can't draw bigger names. I can't be a regional draw like I would like to. I can't draw the quality acts if we still have the same thing that we had 25 years ago.
Exactly.
And that's been my ongoing mission, and we're getting there. We're, in 2 years, and we've got a fantastic council. Mr. Wood as the city manager was great, and now Valerie, she's fantastic. And I think she sees the vision, she trusts that, and I think council sees that.
Yeah.
And they're starting to notice, and the public's starting to notice. That's a good thing and a bad thing. If I mess up, then they're going to see that. But I think that, we are a vital part of not just downtown, but also the community. And next is the region. And so the more that we can do, the more spotlights on us, and we got to clean up. We've got to straighten up and make sure that everything looks good when they do get here. That's been my main focus.
You have got renovations in place that are getting ready to happen.
Yes.
And I think you guys are actively making maybe not some like outward renovation, but you're upgrading some stuff around here too. Tell me about what you can. I'm not going to pressure you, but tell me what you guys have done so far and what you guys plan on doing.
So when I came in, part of the wall had fallen.
Yeah.
And that was an ongoing thing, trying to get that fixed. Because of that, we had some roof leaks. So we've got some water damage in the auditorium. It hasn't phased our crowd, which is fantastic.
Yeah, I've never noticed.
But it just, I know it's there.
Right.
And it has to be fixed. So we got the wall fixed. We stopped all that. We've got a new roof. Very thankful for that. We found all the little leaks and everything. But we've painted everything except the auditorium. We've got a fresh coat of paint. We've changed out the trim, just little things that to me kind of elevates the look a little bit. We installed some outdoor TVs for display. We took our old bulletin boards out and did that. Installed new stage lighting. We refinished the stage that was desperately needed. And we're working on sound now. So we're upgrading our sound. And that's an ongoing process. I'm learning a lot about sound.
It is a lot to learn.
It's a lot. But, we're working on that. We're right in the middle of that. As soon as we can get that at a good place, at least, we are going to move our ticket office back to the original theater office. So that will open up our whole concession area. And, we'll have more space there. And we've got some plans for that.
Oh.
Yeah,
but you can't talk about it.
Fun. Yeah, that's going to be fun.
In the world of small business, every day feels like a whirlwind. Owners are constantly balancing tasks, struggling to find time for what matters most. But in this busy season, relief arrives. Introducing the Autumn Agency's Small Business Division. Imagine a team that not only designs websites and masters SEO, but also provides essential business tools and strategies. With the Autumn Agency, owners gain access to expert business consultants who offer personalized strategies and tools to optimize operations. From marketing plans to financial insights, our consultants empower you to make informed decisions that drive growth. Digital marketing, social media, branding, e-commerce, every aspect of your business is perfected. Visit us today at theautumnagency.co and let us be your autumn.
And I know that we've talked about bigger renovations possibly happening in 2025. And I don't know what you can talk about, what you can talk about, but it is going to require some downtime.
Yes, it is. So as part of our capital plan, the city council approved the money to replace the ceiling tiles that need to be replaced in the auditorium, paint, because we had some water damage. we'll have to replace the flooring in some places and hopefully do the whole flooring with that. So we'll have to take all the seats out. They'll have to install scaffolding to get up to those ceiling tiles. We're going to paint the rest of them to kind of just bring that white down a little bit, darken it up a little, paint all the walls, redo all the flooring, and then at some point we'll have new seats too. So it will be a new to us auditorium. And so we've got, and now I'm in the juggling phase, like when do we do this?
Right.
How many different parts and pieces does this require? You know, what do we do with the stuff when it's not in the auditorium? Where do we put it? You know, so we've got a lot of navigating with the logistics to do. We also, too, have to look at our schedule, things that I've already had on the books, and then look at what can maintenance do versus what are we subbing out. You know, how can we get the biggest bang for our buck?
Right.
And that's just the nature of the beast when it comes to the city. We're trying to be fiscally responsible with that.
Absolutely.
So, so it's looking like right now, mid-January, we don't have anything on the books for February, and then we'll have to hit the ground running again in March. So fingers crossed.
Yeah,
we can
fingers
get it
are
done
definitely
in there.
crossed because that's a huge undertaking.
It's huge, and it's super exciting, but it's going to be, you know, the plate spinning, you know, the plates in the air and juggling, and I can't do either.
I bet by the time you guys reopen, you will be like, I'm ready for a very, very, very long nap now.
Yes, and that's, I told, I had a tour this morning for the Conrad tour, and I told him, I said, ever since I got here, like, we have been a work in progress, and I feel like that's just, you know, my middle name should be work in progress. No, but both personally and with the palace, because there's just, once you start on something, it's like, oh, well, we need to do that, and we need to do that.
And I think it's like that with any kind of job or any kind of project you find yourself in. You know, you're going to come in, and you're like, okay, it's pretty good. Actually, this could change.
Exactly,
and as soon as you get into that, you realize other things can change.
Yes.
And I think that's how our jobs and our personal lives and our roles, how we better things.
Mm-hmm.
It was just never being satisfied. I don't want to say we can't be content.
Right.
But you always want to make things better.
You can't be stagnant, and that's something that I don't want us to be. I want us to just continually find out how we can be better.
I know that you said that, you know, you can't attract, you know, regional acts without, you know, upgrading and everything, but you guys have actually had a pretty good influx of top quality, I would say even national and regional acts. What have you guys done to attract those acts, or have you just gotten lucky?
Well, I you know, I'm not one. I don't believe in luck necessarily. I think that, you know, I think there's a lot of divine intervention, and I think that one of my favorites that we've had, all-time favorites, has been blues guitarist Eric Gales.
I was going to ask who your favorite has been, and I bet she brings Eric.
Yeah, because he's a legend. I mean, he's amazing to me. And I just asked, like, I threw it out there and asked, and it was something that, you know, it was doable.
Yeah.
So we did it, and he's a super nice guy. He's one of the nicest that's been here. I mean, he was great. Our equipment wasn't necessarily ready for him. I mean, he's on a different level, and we had a couple of issues with the amps, but he rolled with it. He was super nice. We'll have him back as soon as we can get all this stuff taken care of.
Yeah, exactly. Like, we're ready for you now.
Yeah,
like, really ready.
Exactly. And that was something I didn't know, you know, until it was like, okay, that's
work
what
in
mean.
Progress.
Exactly,
Still learning.
Exactly.
Yes.
But he was fantastic. We've had a lot of people that I love. I love the band Analog FM. They're a new band. They're so much fun. And we were the second show that they did ever. Last year, that was the second show ever. And they are so much fun. And they're, you know, the tickets are cheap. They are just a really good time. I'm all over the spectrum, you know, from somebody who's internationally known to a band that just is a startup.
Right.
You know? So that's what I love, is that we get a little taste of everything here.
Yeah, and you guys have done quite a few tribute acts too.
Yes.
And I know a lot of people want to give grief to these poor tribute acts, but I'm going to tell you, when I see that some of these tickets for sale in these major arenas for these famous bands where most of the original members are not even in it anymore.
Exactly. Yes.
You can get
such a close similarity from a tribute band.
Yes.
That they're doing that because they love their
Exactly.
music and they
Yes.
want to, simulate that. And
Yes.
you get those for like $20 to
Exactly.
$30,
Yeah.
and they
Yeah.
are incredible talent.
Yeah, and we've got some. I was really wary because our first tribute band out of the gate was not good, and we won't mention who that was, but it was just really not a good experience for me at all. And I told him that, so he knows it. But anyway, it was just really, it scared me to death.
Yes.
I mean, it did. And then we had a couple that redeemed, my faith in
Yes.
people, and then we've had some that are absolute sellouts every time they come, and
Yes.
they're fantastic. It's the music, it's the
Yeah.
experience, but it's a lot cheaper. It's a lot better setting. You're
And
a
the
lot more
marketing is
comfortable.
already done for those
Exactly.
bands,
Yeah.
relatively
Exactly. You don't have to.
speaking.
Yeah. You just kind of like, okay, we've got the tickets, and then
Forever
boom,
Abbey
they're gone.
Road. That might be a Beatles tribute.
Exactly.
I like the Beatles.
Exactly,
It's already
yes.
done for you. And they
Exactly, yeah.
usually do very well when they do play
yeah,
here.
they do fantastic here. Kings of Queen,
Yes.
they could sell out 2 or 3 days in a row because they are just, and they love what they do. That's huge.
Yes.
They love what they do, and they're great at it. We've discovered that if you engage the crowd and you really love what you're doing, you can miss a note here and there. It's okay.
They're
you
very
know.
forgiving.
But exactly.
Yes.
Exactly. So, we've had a couple of lemons, but
Yeah.
for the most part, it's fun. You get to enjoy, like you said, it's the experience,
It is.
but it's affordable, and it's in a great setting.
It is. It is.
So-
I know you guys had Barracuda in
Yes.
February.
Yeah. And they were a sellout and fantastic.
Oh my
They did
gosh, I just saw them a
great.
few weeks ago, and
So
again,
good.
super nice people.
Yes.
Very talented,
Yes.
and wow, I mean, their show was incredible.
Yes, they are
I
great.
couldn't. I mean, Ann Wilson is not easy to mimic,
Yeah, exactly.
and she did. Well, even Nancy on the guitar, and they did it.
They were fantastic.
and they looked
Yeah.
very fluid and comfortable doing it.
Yes.
I would, if I had ever accomplished that, I would have had like this look of concentration, or
Yes,
I hope
like
I
I'm going to hit
that
the note. Yes.
Yes,
Yeah, here it goes. Here it goes.
And I felt that way every time she got up there singing. She looked effortless
Yes,
doing it.
yeah,
Incredible
yeah.
talent. Well, you already told us that Eric Gales was like your favorite,
One of
at least
he's
one
up
of
there.
them.
Yeah, he's up there.
What are other memorable moments or events that you
Um,
have seen here?
Well, I loved and see, I hate to tout, I love everybody. Everybody's
course,
been
of
great.
course.
And if you're nice to us, then it goes a long way. I
Yeah.
don't, if you're not nice to us, I may not give you a call back.
There
That's
you
just
go.
the way it is. You need to be a nice person. Loved Glenn Templeton. Loved him. He was, and that's country. That's just, and it was him and a guitar. It was, he and his wife traveling. Just a fantastic show.
Yeah.
Very professional. We've had several of those. We had Wade Hayes here. We've had a lot of just good artists that it's just them.
Right.
But then we've got, the Elvis tributes and the full bands, and they're fantastic. I just, I'm not a connoisseur, but, they're really great, and they're a lot of fun. But I think one of the moments that caught me off guard was when we had Artemis Pyle here. And I don't get enamored very much. Little Texas was one of those that I just, that was my band back in the day.
Yeah.
And, that was a fulfilling moment for me.
Yeah.
But with Artemis Pyle, I came back and met him, and he just made me sit down and sit and talk to him. And then I watched him after the show was over. A lady came through that had just lost her husband, and he stopped everything. Like, it didn't matter. He walked all the way around the table and gave her a hug and stood there and talked to her. And it didn't matter. Like, it was like everyone else didn't matter. They melted away while he engaged with this one particular fan who just, it was so touching. And then he sat with a lady that was in a wheelchair. He just sat down with her. And I'm going, it's 11 o'clock, dude. I got to go. I got to go.
tired.
But then I realized that I'm witnessing a historic moment.
Yes.
And he was so humble. He still gave all the credit for his success and the band's success to Ronnie. And that was just truly, after all these years, that was his best buddy, and he still gives all his credit to him. So I really felt like that was kind of just it was a moment that I'll never forget. I really got to be in the presence of somebody who's a history maker. And that was something that I just didn't expect it. It was kind of catching me off guard with it. So,
Wow. Yeah, I didn't get to see him.
Yeah.
I can't remember what it was, but I remember seeing my Facebook feed blow up about everyone who did get to see him. And they were crazy excited about that.
Yeah, and his band is just amazing.
What ways do you think this theater can or even does now contribute to the cultural and economic development of this downtown area?
Well, we are still, I mean, we were built and called the Jewel of Main Street, and we still are. You know, it's something that it's from the Crab Orchard stone that is on the building. That is just a tie to our heritage, and we try to cover everything. So, you know, the movies where our tickets they're $5. We see families in here all the time that can bring their whole family, you know, come for an evening out. And it's, you know, it's affordable. It's something that's not going to break the bank for them to come, you know, come see it.
I feel this.
So, you know, we've got that. But we also have that entertainment with, like you said, without the huge price tag. And I think it's something that we're trying to speak to the working people and be able to provide that they can afford. And then we have acts that, the tickets are going to be a little bit more. We've got the Bellamy Brothers coming in January. That's going to be a little bit more.
Yes.
But it's still worth, you know, I paid more than that to go to the Ryman.
Right.
You know, and I have to drive the whole way and drive home.
Pay for parking and then go out to eat.
Exactly.
It
so
accumulates.
It does. So I think, you know, we're doing that. But we are becoming a regional draw. And we get people from Nashville coming here.
Yes.
We get people from Knoxville, Kentucky and Georgia, and they're coming to here, to Crossville, to the Palace. Inevitably, if they are anywhere near the interstate, they're going to Buc-ee's. You know, so I told somebody,
Thank you, Buc-ee's.
You know, we're bringing people to Buc-ee's. Not Buc-ee's, you know, bringing them to us, but and I love that. You know, I love that we've got Buc-ee's is huge. I love them. But they're also coming downtown. They're eating across the street. They're eating at Forte's. They're eating in the poorhouse. They're walking our downtown. They're seeing our beautiful courthouse, our courthouse square. They're going, you know, to get coffee or going to see what else we've got going on downtown. They're getting, you know, going by French's. And that is just, once they're here and they see what we've got, then a lot of times they come back and they want to see what else we've got. We often, you know, try to point them to the Playhouse because the Playhouse is such it's such an asset for our community.
And you and Bryce get along famously.
I love him. I told somebody today, I told somebody I want to be him when I grow up. And then, you know, then when I retire, I want to be John Conrad. So, you know, I want that kind of energy. But Bryce is amazing. And it's just something that shows, you know, the commitment and the love of a local person who, you know, it's like, you know what, we can do this. And here it is. And so when people do come here, then, you know, we're telling them what else there is. They ask us a lot of times, they're coming in for the weekend. They need a hotel reservation. They need to know where to eat. You know, it's so, in a way, we are a hub for, you know, for outside visitors. We can only seat 300 at a time, but we're seating 300 at a time every weekend.
Yes.
And then, you know, in between. So we're doing it on a small scale, but my hope is that we're getting out there and we're reaching the outlying communities and then beyond. And I fully believe that we are going to get even past where we are now. We had a visitor board meeting the other day that we were talking about how the metrics for some of the state grants are seeing a change, seeing how many outside I think it's like a 70-mile radius, how many you're bringing in. And we've never measured that. Oh. So I started looking at all our tickets, and our tickets are half and half. You've got half from Crossville, but half of those are everywhere from, you know, down toward Chattanooga to Knoxville to the Nashville area. Kentucky's huge, you know, depending on what we've got. So we're drawing, you know, are we drawing from the region outside that 50-mile radius or 70-mile radius? And I think we fully can. We've got the amenities here. Once they get here, we have great restaurants. They may not be, you know, big name chains, but we've got some fantastic restaurants.
Yeah.
We've got some great places to visit. We've got the attractions. We've got the outdoor beauty.
Yes.
So, you know, come for a weekend. come see a show and then see what else we can do for you. And I think we're
Absolutely.
there.
I do too. I agree wholeheartedly with that statement. As you said earlier, you guys are kind of umbrella-ing, I just made up a word, over the amphitheater as well as the depot.
Yes.
What's going on at the depot that you can tell us about?
Well, so the depot, we have the gift shop in the depot, and we are, again, I'm the agent of change, but we've discovered that the need is for Crossville souvenirs. There's no place to find a T-shirt that says Crossville. Well, there is now. So we're working on that. We've got, we're trying to transition more into a souvenir shop for Crossville and Tennessee products. We've got lots of T-shirts there. We've got hats, coffee cups, gift items that you can take and take home with you or whatever. So we're transitioning that.
Okay.
The meeting room itself, it's booked all the time.
Yes, it is. I always see people saying, hey, we have to have a baby shower. We have to have this. When Matt and I got married, we married outside. It was really hot. It was July 20th. And
Wow.
we decided to have an ice cream social as our reception. And we did it at the depot.
Right. My daughter's bridal shower was there. I was in a wedding there. So
There you go.
it's always hopping. DCI had put in some investment into it with the decking and with the slidey doors.
Yes. The slidey doors.
Yeah, that's the technical term for them.
Technical slidey doors.
The slidey doors. So to upgrade a little bit, we need to do some things with the bathrooms. I've got some things I want to do with that, but it stays busy. It all the time, and I'm focusing now on just the gift shop and us trying to get some new products that are more souvenir shop type things, so that you can take something home or you can wear something that says Crossville on it. So we're working on that. The amp, of course, it's seasonal. It's really hard to have a whole lot at the amp, in the wintertime.
Weather contingent, too.
Yes. So in the capital plan, we got a little bit of money to possibly do some restrooms, and we got to look into that, see what we can get for our dollar, and that's another project I've got to talk, I guess, to the engineers and to see, what we can do. How can we make this happen? Because now we don't have any restrooms there. You have to rent the porta potties.
Yeah. And we all know that that's not fun.
It's not fun. And we did keep them there year round. When we kept them there seasonally through the summer, and you just can't have nice things with some things. So we had to quit doing that. But it's a fantastic location.
Yeah,
it is
it is
great for Thursdays at the AMP, which DCI does. But it's great. And I think if we can add the restrooms and we can take care of that, we can maximize the potential down there.
Absolutely.
So it's weather dependent.
Right.
So, but that's we need that. And usually the weather is great and the weather cooperates. So
sometimes it does.
Sometimes. But we had a wedding scheduled at the AMP, which was great. Weather didn't cooperate, but it was just such a great idea. I thought that's a beautiful spot. So we haven't really done a whole lot with marketing with it or really trying to get out there. But that's on my punch list.
Absolutely.
So.
I can tell, like, your eyes are just like, but that's on my punch list. I was I knew it.
Yeah,
I knew
it is. It's coming. It's coming. Yeah.
Are there any upcoming shows that you are particularly excited about in the future?
Are there? So I love all our shows. The end of the month, this is interesting to me, but August 30th and 31st, we'll have the Cumberland Mountain Songwriters Festival here.
Yes.
And we haven't done that before. We've never had something like that, so I'm interested to see how that goes. There'll be a show here Friday night at 7, and then all day, like workshops and that sort of thing during the day on Saturday, and then a show that night showcasing, I guess, some big talent, some big names in the songwriting industry.
Awesome.
So that's
So
gonna
I
be fun.
encourage, if you are in music or not even into music, but just into the art of songwriting, please come out and support this.
Yeah.
Because, songwriting often gets ushered in as just not as important as the person who originally recorded it. And when you tap into songwriters, they have a story.
Yes.
And it may not have been the story that was conveyed with the original recording artist, but I highly recommend, and these are local people that have put this on, correct? And they're bringing people in. They're offering workshops.
Yes,
So
yes.
if you've even been interested in trying your hand at songwriting, this is something to look into. And it's local. It's
It
a
is.
local community event, really.
Yeah.
But they're spreading their wings.
And they've got a lot on that roster. I think they
yeah.
are just about full with the songwriters. So it's,
Really?
with the competition. So it's been wildly popular with that. So, and one ticket gets both days. So,
Okay, cool.
Yeah, it's general admission, one ticket
So
gets
it's a
both
2-day
days.
event.
It's a 2-day event.
Ooh,
yes. Yeah,
wow.
for $27 total.
That is
So,
a real, because I've been to a few several day events that were not even close to $27.
Yeah, so that's going to be exciting. And then
Oh, my
going on
gosh.
into September, September's kind of our nonprofit month. We've got a lot of nonprofit fundraisers coming up, and then we have one Irish Rover, which is a Van Morrison tribute. So that's really interesting. I didn't realize I liked Van Morrison.
I love Van Morrison.
I didn't know that I did. And I was like, oh, they sing that. Okay, cool. Or he sings that. So, so that's going to be interesting.
Oh, I love that. I'm going to have to check that one out because I love Van Morrison. How can local artists and performers get involved with this theater?
Well, they can always give me a call. I may not be here.
And you may not have dates available,
yeah,
too.
exactly. And I'm spreading between 3 places, and but emailing me is the easiest way, and that way I can get back to them. A lot of times I'm at home and
Right.
like catching up for the day, but that's usually the easiest way. And then just stop by. Sometimes you just driving by, stop by and see us. We're pretty well booked for the rest of 2024. We're booking into 2025, but I do have that, I'm kind of just trying to hold off on some things to make sure that we get that renovation taken care of. So we do have things that are set in stone, like the Jet Theatrics still is here, which we love. We love having Jet Theatrics from CCHS.
I'm just curious, and of course this is probably more of a question for Angela Robbins.
Right.
They are actually building an auditorium at CCHS,
yes,
so
yeah.
they're still performing here probably until this auditorium is completed.
They are,
correct?
yes, yeah, they'll be, and we had thought that maybe November was the end of it, and then we're booked for March and then maybe we've got them on the books for November of next year, just to be safe, yeah,
right.
just to
No,
be
that's a
safe.
smart move.
So, we love having them; they're fantastic. But yeah, we're booking into 2025, and I love new and upcoming stuff. I love trying to figure out how we can make it work for all of us, and helping them out. So just get in touch with me, and I will eventually get back with you.
Eventually, just be
yeah,
patient
just-
with
I'm
her.
trying,
She's a busy
yeah,
woman.
yeah.
She's in charge of like 3 different areas.
Yeah, so some days it's like yesterday was all depot, and today is like what have I done today? So
And you give tours around here too.
we do. Conrad tours are great. They come by a lot. In the fall, we do the 4th grade tours, which I love. Those are so much fun.
And my son did that last year.
Yeah, those are so fun. And we also, stop in. If we can show you around, we will. And we had a group of granddaughters that came in. Their grandma had asked me if she could bring them by, and so we did. They came by, and we showed them the whole place, and that was a lot of fun. That was, just a small little group. But, we're always here for showing off, what we've got. We love this place. So if I can't do it, then one of the staff, if they can hop up and tell you about it, then they will. So
And I love it. I've been, I've kind of been in touch with just every one of the administrators for the last several years, and I see the same faces. I mean, not across the board, but there are a lot of familiar faces that have been here for ages helping you guys out.
Yeah.
Like whether it's in sound or concessions or in
Right.
tickets. And it's just, I love that familiarity. They're very comfortable around here.
Yes. And it gets, I see it now. I wish that I had appreciated it before. I mean, like I said, I came to things, but I didn't really grasp, what a treasure this is. And I think something that, and I tell every tour that I see, we always kind of compare ourselves to Cookville. We don't mean to, but we're kind of like
Right.
the redheaded stepchild to
We're
Cookville. But
different.
we are so different.
We don't
And
have a 4-year university here.
exactly. And it's just something that, it's just been like the economic growth side of it. It's always just, we're sort of slightly, silently in competition with them. And I had gone to a museum tour. We have like this little conglomerate of museums, and I had gone down to see their city museum.
Yeah.
Which is great,
Right.
and I was like, we need a city museum. We don't have a city museum. Why don't we have a city museum? We don't have anything,
Right.
And as I'm going through it, I'm seeing the work that goes into that. That's huge.
Right.
It's fantastic. It's a great place. But I see this little display, and there's this little sign, and it's of a neon sign, and it says Princess on it. And I thought, okay. And I remember that, it kind of brought back the memory from way back in the day. And it talked about their movie theater, the Princess Theater, that was torn down in 1983. And as I stood there, I thought, that could have happened to us. We were one council vote away from not being here and just being a little sign. And, in that moment, I'm not jealous at all. We've got a living, breathing piece of history that is still, thriving and vital. And so we're a tie to the past, but we're also a tie to the future. And that I couldn't ask for more. I mean, that's amazing to me. So I'm not jealous anymore.
And you're working really hard to modernize this place without affecting the integrity of its history.
Exactly. And we can't. We're on the National Register of Historic Places.
Right.
We're
I didn't know that.
Yeah, we are, and we're working on getting the depot on there. So that's one of my projects. There's a lot of paperwork. They want a lot of details.
Ooh.
So, but the Upper Cumberland Development District is helping us with that. Valerie had actually sent them my way for that.
Oh, fantastic.
So, but our depot will be 100 years old next year.
No kidding.
So, that needs to be recognized. So, but yeah, we can't touch the architectural integrity, the historical integrity, but we can make it a better experience.
Right.
With what we can do.
Right.
So we're striving to do that.
So the depot is 100.
Yes.
And you guys here at the Palace just celebrated 80,
85 last year. Yeah.
I've got to do my math better.
Yeah, it'll be 86 years. Yeah, we did the 85th celebration with you all here, which was fantastic. So,
Awesome. Is there anything else you want to share with our listeners?
just come see us. Come see us for, I'm not good with criticism. I've really discovered that about myself.
So be very kind when you suggest something.
But, I'm trying to learn. And I had seen that, people are saying we need to advertise more and we need to do more. Like and follow us on Facebook. We have all our events there.
And share.
And share it. Absolutely. Absolutely. And just come see us. We make it easy. It's very soon you'll be able to come into the actual theater and buy your tickets. So we're eliminating that little bit of confusion. But and call us. We're always ready to help. But come see us. We've got great shows. It's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun, and it's not for a lot of money.
Right.
So.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely share these posts when you see something coming through at the Palace. I work in digital media and marketing, and I work with a lot of businesses, and they want to grow their following. They want to grow their marketing, and they typically don't want to usher out any more money than they have to.
Right.
So organic growth is really important to these businesses. And the same could be said for the Palace. So if you feel like the Palace needs to advertise more, or they need to get shows out more for people to follow and come attend, if you have seen it on Facebook, share it.
Yes.
Because that's organic growth, and that's what a lot of marketing is and should be. Even further, if you can save the city, the Palace, and Malena like an extra buck or two to send out a targeted ad, if you just share it with your friends or invite your friends to the event, you guys are doing an incredible job. I'm really proud of you.
Well, thank you.
As an artist myself, I love it when people step up to the plate and they make changes, but they're not changes that hurt the culture around it or hurt the integrity.
And we never want to do that. That's, we want to, always honor. We want to honor the fabric of Crossville,
Right.
and of Cumberland County and the community, but we also want to celebrate, what we can, what else,
Yeah.
what else can we bring in here? What else is great? And I'm at that generation. I'm the Gen Xer.
Yes.
So,
I get
you
it.
can
Gen
see
Xer
that
here.
in the, in the programming because, my 80s music is coming out. Analog FM will
I
have
know.
my 80s music. So, that's coming out in it. But we're trying to, we've got some fun stuff coming up in March, really fun stuff. So we're trying to get, a little bit of everything for everybody. So without hurting anybody.
Right. And you're not eliminating, we've talked about bringing in these bigger acts, and you're not eliminating even our local artists because
Absolutely
you
not,
guys have
yeah.
songwriter nights.
We do. Yeah, and we have open mic night, which
Open mic.
I love it. And it's free admission to it. It's free to sign up, and it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun. And we've got a lot of talent. I mean, we really do. When it's a lot of it are people that just want to do it for a little bit of fun.
Get their feet wet, trying it out.
Exactly.
Is it a contest? I've never been, and I probably should have been at this point, which makes me a really bad
You're
advocate for the
professional,
arts.
so,
But, well, no. I'll
don't
show
know if
up
we'll-
now. Now that you said it, I'm going to show up. I'll probably still lose if it was a contest.
No, but yeah, it is. So
okay.
First place gets $50, second place gets $30, and then third place gets $20. So,
And that's more than at least 2 coffees, everybody.
yeah, exactly.
At
Yeah,
Common
so-
Grounds.
So it's fun. It's more, it is a chance to put a microphone in front of you and get a little of that nervousness out. And if, like you said, get your feet wet.
Yeah.
And if you enjoy doing it, then, there it is.
And if you're not an artist, you should still come because we should be supporting
Yeah.
local and live music.
And
because
and we have everything from, singing to tracks, to, somebody bringing their phone. We have opera sometimes. We've
wow.
got, Garen comes and sings opera, and it's fantastic.
Is it all original music or some of it
No,
covers?
It's just covers. It's just whatever.
Oh, wow.
Whatever they decide to bring. So.
Anybody do spoken word yet?
We have not.
Oh, my
have
gosh,
that.
someone's gotta do spoken word.
Bring us some spoken word. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I know my, I can't remember who it was. It might have been either my husband or my sister. They're both kind of on the same wavelength of humor, but I've talked to them about possibly getting like somebody to play like some kind of cool guitar track. And I read part of Twilight.
And then we have to snap to, snap our fingers. Yeah. Yeah. There we go. There we go.
Oh my gosh. Thank you for joining us today, Malena. This has been such an incredible pleasure. I love talking to you even, off mic.
Yeah.
And I just really appreciate what you've done with this community and with this theater, even with the depot. I had no idea that we didn't have Crossville merchandise.
Yeah,
and
we do
souvenirs.
now. Yeah.
So,
yeah.
you're working towards that. And I'm really excited to see these renovations that are coming out in 2025. The finished
Right.
product anyway,
Right.
because I know you guys are doing them now anyway. And I'm really excited to see what you have in store for the amphitheater because
Yeah.
I feel like that there is so much untapped potential.
Exactly. Me too. Me
with
too.
that.
So,
There's untapped potential here too, and I don't know what it is, and I think that you're still searching for that.
we are, yeah.
And that
We're
makes it
working
so
on
exciting. And I love having somebody like that at the helm of such an incredible jewel.
Yeah, the jewel of
The
Main
jewel
Street.
of Main
And
Street.
I could not do it without support, from people like you.
Oh,
I
thank
mean,
you.
you from day one have been just, a cheerleader, and I really appreciate that because I don't know what I'm doing. I mean, I really don't. I'm like, I'm just winging it, and that is, but I'm learning, and it's so refreshing to have people who are genuinely wanting to see your success, and that's
Yeah.
just, I think that's one of the wonderful things about our community is we all
Yes.
just want to see each other succeed, and we're cheering each other on.
Absolutely. Anybody who has that abundant mindset is absolutely going to be a cheerleader for you.
Yes.
And I will let you know that, I've spoken to people who have worked here, like from the Nashville area that have come in
Right.
and brought bands, and they have nothing but glowing things to say about
Yay.
you. So I know
Good,
that,
good.
like you said earlier, you don't want to work with someone who isn't a good person
Nice,
to work
yeah.
with. And that's just across the board,
Right.
especially music. Like I've
Right.
told my husband, I don't care how talented you are. If you're a jerk, I don't want you in my
Exactly,
band. I will
yes.
take someone less talented
Yes.
that I can chat with and
Yes,
be friendly
exactly,
with.
yes,
But
agreed.
everyone has nothing but glowing things to say about
Good.
the Palace and you, and so
And we've
that's
done our job.
always such a good thing.
Yay.
But thank you for coming on What's Up Crossville, and I encourage everyone again to buy tickets. Come out here, watch the movies, watch the shows, and even take a tour. Malena likes to show this place off.
Love it. Love
And
it.
buy souvenirs of Crossville at the depot. Thank you for coming on the show.
Thank you, Melissa.
Stopping when you're coming down. It's right off Interstate 40. It's my beloved hometown, Crossville, Tennessee. And when I leave, I feel so sad, not just because of mom and dad. It's for my love of hometown, Crossville, Tennessee.
Looking for the perfect gift for someone you love? Perhaps you're in search of something unique to treat yourself. Discover the beauty of uniquely created hand-stamped jewelry. Locally owned and crafted with love, our collection features rings, bracelets, keychains, and pendants made from durable aluminum and paired with natural beads. Enjoy necklaces on sterling silver-plated chains and earrings with sterling silver hooks for a touch of elegance. Each piece is hand-stamped and one of a kind, making it uniquely yours. Plus, we offer custom orders, and we ship nationwide. Find us on Facebook and Instagram today and fall in love with your perfect piece, uniquely created just for you. Uniquely created hand-stamped jewelry in Crossville. Thank you for tuning in to this episode of What's Up Crossville. We want to give a shout out to the amazing sponsors for their support. If you enjoyed this episode, be sure to subscribe to our podcast and follow us on Facebook and Instagram. Leave us a review, and don't forget to share this episode with a friend. For more information about What's Up Crossville, visit us at whatsupcrossville.com. There, you can find upcoming episodes, resources mentioned in the episode, and even recommend future guests. Please note that the views and opinions expressed in this episode are those of the individual speakers and do not represent the policy or positions of this show, its related entities, advertisers, or the Southern Spitfire brand. While our discussions may cover a variety of topics, the content of What's Up Crossville is intended to inform, inspire, and entertain. It should not be used as a substitute for professional advice. For medical, financial, legal, or other professional advice, we encourage our listeners to seek the expertise of a licensed professional who can provide personalized guidance. Thank you for listening, and we'll catch you in the next episode of What's Up Crossville.